Today there are three takeaways for me. The first one is about advocacy around laws on sexual exploitation and abuse. Is it advocacy around laws on sexual exploitation and abuse, or is it legal reform? We should focus on legal reform, which is holistic and talks about system change. Changing the system. First, we have to do a law review to ensure that there are no gaps in the law or to identify those gaps in the law. Address the fragmentation, if any, in the law. Consolidate the law. And then when we have the right legal framework in place, to ensure that we move on to the institutional frameworks, the SOPs, the secondary regulations, training of the staff who are to apply these laws, everything that goes with a system change. We are talking about system change, and our advocacy should be around the holistic system change. And the final point around the legal reform is to ensure that the design of the system is informed by survivors and the children. The second point is awareness raising. The point was raised, we don't fund awareness raising. Well, awareness raising is part of social and behavioral change, and there is an elaborate science around social and behavioral change. And what have we learned from HIV/AIDS and working with children? From HIV/AIDS and working with children, we can deal with taboo issues around sexuality. We can address comprehensive sexual education. We can address the gender issues. We can address the structural issues. We can engage with children. We know how to engage with the survivors. So we need to bring that science actually back again into this issue of sexual exploitation and abuse. My final point is on the data. Who owns the data? The data collection, analysis, and utilization continuum. We have to focus on that, the utilization of the data. What do we use the data for? How do we communicate this data? And children communicate differently. Is this data for children? It's adult-centric. It's an adult-centric data. So where is the data for children? How do we engage with children around this data? And the final point, let's design funding for projects that follows as driven by children and not design a project that fits the funding.